Thank you, ma'am, for your beautiful introduction. Uh, good afternoon, everyone. Myself, H Kamali. I am currently pursuing my undergraduate degree in psychology with the passion of doing mental health research. I'm so happy and privileged to present my first self-discovery session in front of you all. And I'm also very much excited to share my insights with you. So before we get into the session, I just want to say one thing. When I heard about the word self-discovery itself, one concept that struck my mind immediately. One second. Ma'am, is my screen visible, ma'am?
It's
Visible.
visible. Please restart,
I'm not able
reshare.
to share. One second.
You can close the slide, reshare it from first, then it
Okay.
will work, Kamali.
One. I'm not able to move my screen, ma'am.
Strange it looks like.
There's some error.
But you did try, before we start.
Yes, that time it worked, sir. We had
Mm,
a trial now, sir. Kamali, can you try it again, Kamali?
Yes, ma'am.
Just start with the second slide and see or else.
Ma'am, is it visible?
No.
You have not still shared the screen. Yeah, like that you can present. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So, sorry for the delay, everyone. So, the first concept that struck my mind when I heard about the word self discovery is about lotus. You all might wonder why lotus, right? So, here is the explanation. According to me, self discovery is like the journey of a lotus flower. Just like the lotus begins its life in the mud hidden beneath the murky waters, we too often start a personal journey surrounded by a lot of confusions or challenges. But like the lotus pushing through the water to reach the surface, we also rise above the difficulties, growing together and stronger. As the lotus blooms in the sunlight, our self-discovery helps us to unfold our true potentials, revealing the beauty of our strengths that has always been, within us, even in the darkest moments. So now let me give the small gist about who am I. As I mentioned here,
ஓபன்
I'm
பண்ண
a
அவங்க
passionate
பேசுறத மட்டும்தான் வருது மற்றவங்களுக்கு வரலைங்க.
As I mentioned here, I'm a passionate portrait artist and an aspiring psychology student. I find inspiration in every corner of the world, from bustling seats to serene mountain trails. I believe in the power of kindness around me. I'm on a mission to blend my love for adventure with my dream of helping others, creating a life full of discovery and meaningful connections. As I mentioned my UID, you can see I have B2X in R3 pattern. With the description I've given here, I think you'll be able to connect it with the UID it's mentioned. I'm a person having this B2 pattern in my prefrontals. Okay, let me say what are my top three books, then I'll move on to my B2X explanation. So my first top three lobes are my right prefrontal, right temporal, and right occipital. In that right prefrontal, I have this D2X, which has an energy of 60. This D2 pattern portrays me as a very social, jovial person to everyone. Having this D2 pattern, I can relate that I'm a person who can see both the ends of a coin. So it's easy for me to connect with people and create bonds. So I can explain this with an example. For example, this right prefrontal has the characteristics of leadership, optimistic, empathy, and all right. So in my school days or even during my college days, my faculty members used to choose me as a leader for any kind of group activity. And there's one reason because they think that even I have also felt it personally that I can easily connect with people and create bond with them quickly. And while taking decision, I can understand both the parties' point of view and make a wise decision accordingly. And also, when splitting the work, I can split the work according to people's needs and abilities and make them, coordinate and do the work in a very effective manner. That's where this B2X, pattern helps me a lot. And the X over here also plays a major role. I am a very mood dependent person. For me, mood plays a major role in my life. I can explain this with an example. As I said earlier, I'm a very passionate portrait artist. I have done a lot of paid works. So for me, doing the artwork, it takes around like 4 to 5 hours maximum. If I'm in the right mood, I can do the artwork within 3 hours or even within 2 hours with adding on to a lot of minute details, like making it more creative and colorful and all. But if I'm not in the right mood, even drawing a small circle is a very difficult task for me and I won't touch it at all because the X, plays a major role here and I can relate with this example with the X pattern. And also, if I have any, fight or misunderstanding with some other person, in my thought process, I'll be truly angry with them, but my actions won't be in that way. I will be considering, okay, this due to this situation only they're behaving in such a way. This might be a cause, or there will be some other cause for that. So let me not, be angry on them. Let me be so polite. All these thought process and behavior are coming due to this B2X pattern. Now, moving on to this right temporal, we can see there's a second highest energy over there. I'm a person who loves to listen a lot. I do speak a lot, but more than that, I love to listen. So my friends and family people consider me as actually a listener, best listener, or a therapist maybe. I've heard these words. That's what I'm saying. I'm not self-posting. These are the words I have heard. So if my friend, for example, is having some kind of, they're feeling little burdened or they feel little stressed, they'll immediately call me and ask, Kamali, are you free for one? I want to talk to you. So they feel that I'm a very good listener and I've also felt that I can listen to them, I can empathize with them. They feel that if they share anything to me, it just, I'm a non-judgmental person. They can share anything with me and I can empathize with them and I can relate with them. And I can give a solution which is very much, satisfactory to their situation and their understanding. So that I can connect with this right temporal. And in my occipital area, we can see my right occipital energy is uh, quite high. This tells me that I'm a person who really loves a lot of colorful images. Uh, that's where, what to say, a lot of creativity comes. I also love to carry myself well. Even if I'm at my home, I won't look so simple. My dressing sense will be so, it'll be little, there'll be a lot of standards, my color combination. I won't do random combination and wear. I have some certain color combinations that's all I wear, even when I'm at my home also. I won't be like a very homely, like how to say. There's one standard like for people, if a girl is at home, they used to look in such a way, but I don't want to look in that way because I want to carry myself in a very, what's a very comfortable, decent manner. And this I love colorful images, as I said, but this black and white or graphical information and all won't be that interesting for me. I want to add some kind of colors to it. And also, due in this presentation, you can see I've had a lot of pictures because for me, I personally feel that pictures speak louder than words. And it'll be easy for me to connect with you all and express my thought process with you and connect with you. That's why I have had a lot of pictures rather than words. And moving on to my frontals, we can see that has this R3 pattern in my right frontal. The energy is low, but the pattern is strong here. This R3, is a tented art pattern. So basically, sometimes I'll be at the top of the arc, and where I'll experience full emotions, and sometimes I'll be at the bottom of my heart, where I won't express any kind of emotion. I'll be staying still and silent. I am a very reflective person, but I'm not just like this R1 or R2 where they, imitate the behavior they learn or see from their parents or whom they consider as an inspiration model. I do imitate certain behaviors from my parents and whomsoever I consider to be, influencing or inspiring. But I do have my own standards. That is this R3. And being an R3 pattern, any emotion I feel about another person. If I'm angry, I'm truly angry. It's from the bottom of my heart. If I'm happy with the person, it's my bottom of my heart. There is no any additional layer added onto it. But all these things are just in my thought processes. While it comes to action, the D2X comes into role. For example, as I said, no, if I'm angry with the person, I'm truly angry. But if I'm gonna exhibit, like if I'm gonna exhibit that same anger, na, that's a question mark because the D2, comes into role. That makes me a little more considerable, like understand both the person's point of view and then reacting to it. All these things are this D2X and R3, combine and work together. Now, when come to this parietal, we can see that I have the highest energy in my right side parietal. I am a person who really loves to travel a lot. I can't sit at home for a longer period of time. But again, the mood plays a major role here. This X pattern, comes into action everywhere because it is the execution part, right? So if I'm in the right mood, I will definitely go. But if I'm not in the mood, I won't even get out of my bed. I can explain this with an example. A few days before, I organized a plan outing with my friends, and I was the event organizer. And somehow I got permission from my friends' parents, and everything was ready. But few days, like before going, before the day, my mood was completely disturbed. I don't know what happened. There wasn't any specific reason, but my mood was completely disturbed, and I canceled the plan. My friends are literally clueless why she's behaving like this. She was the one who organized it, but why she is now, canceling it. Even I didn't have the answer because I don't know what made me to cancel. I was not in the mood, so I'm not coming. So this X, comes and plays a role over here. Now moving on to my next, the curriculum part. Here you can see that is I'm a focused learner. I'm a person who has a very limited potential. If I'm concentrating on one particular task, the concentration will be on a deeper level. For example, I'm studying about psychology itself. I have a very deeper understanding about the field. When compared to other fields, I have a very, very deeper understanding about this because I really love to get into the concept, know the nuances of it, and get into, dig in lot of information and learn even more and even more. Like going to, how a rat will dig a hole. So that kind of learning I have, but I can consider only one activity at a time. For me, multitasking is not my cup of tea at all. I can explain this with an example. If I'm watching TV, I can't eat. If I'm eating, I can't watch TV. If I'm doing both at the same time, my attention, is completely getting distracted. I can't, concentrate on the movie or on my eating any snack. When I'm eating my snack also, it won't, the concentration will be shuffling here and there, and I don't feel like satisfaction won't be there. So I won't do two activities at a time. It'll be so difficult for me. If I put a lot of effort, if I strain a lot, then I can do, but I should put a lot of efforts. Then I don't like complex tasks and all. It's very tiresome for me. So what will I do is I just cut it down to small chunks, make it as a simpler version, then I'll do it. So that thing will really work with me. When it comes to my primary level, till my seventh grade, my percentages were at average level. But After getting the secondary, I could see a lot of differences. You can see my 10th standard percentage is around 85% and my 12th standard percent is around 90. I also received the Star Pupil Award in my school while as a 12th passed out. And in my university also there's a gradual increase. I started to host a lot of events in my college and I also been the class rep and event manager and I've also taken up a lot of activities and my marks also in my university till my fourth sem it's around 74 to 75 percentage. So I could see this graph is more of very relatable to me. And learning sensory, you can see my sensory is quite high when compared to intuitive. Yes, I do listen to my gut feelings, but the sensory, overpowers me. Even while taking distance, the gut feeling used to tell me, come on, this is the thing, listen to it. But I take input from my senses, then only take action. In that, you can see my auditory has the higher power. It's 35.49. Yes, I said, my auditories are not very strong, but it is strong. I can explain this with an example. If I'm at class, my teacher is teaching some important lesson, my attention will be totally on her only. But if my friends near me are discussing some topic which is interesting or anything it can be, if they're discussing something, if it's interesting in the sense, my concept, I will physically present in the class, but my ears will be totally on what they're speaking. So easily I'll get distracted. It's very easy for me. Even now, right now, if someone's talking in the hall, I could hear. Even though I'm presently, if someone is talking in the hall little louder, if any interesting topic they're talking now, I can easily get distracted. Now, my sensory learning, as you can see, it's very much evident that oral and pictorial are the best suited study methods for me, and that's why you can see I've had a lot of pictures. So it's very much, easy to understand for me and communicate with you. And discussion-based learning helps me a lot to study a lot of topics and diagram and pictures and all. Very much useful for me. For me, writing and studying and all won't work. All these pictures only helps me to grasp up more information. Then my genetic memory, you can see my working memory is on the higher end. It's a 35%, you can see. For me, during the exam days, all the teachers used to give advice, okay, exam is gonna come, so start preparing. You need to prepare in advance. For me, preparing in advance won't work at all because you can see my long-term memory is not 29.0%, right? So if I study for in advance itself, on the day before exam, I'll definitely forget it, no matter what. That I can remember the page number, I can remember what are the points I've highlighted, but I can't remember the content. So what I'll do is I study just a day before or 2 days before the exam, or I'll be continuously revising the topics day after day, day after day. If I do these two processes now, I can remember the content. If I won't revise the content, then I won't be able to remember what I've studied further earlier. And my acquired memory, you can see it's on the higher end. It's above medium level. Um, for this, I can explain with an example. For example, yeah, a few years before, me and my friend got into a fight. I still remember she's very close friend. So that fight, I'm not able to remember the episode very clearly, but the word she used, I still remember. It still lingers in my mind, and even the tonal variation she used also, I still remember. I have that kind of echoic memory. An iconic memory, I could, no, I can have the. I'm not able to have such a clear visual about that period, but I can remember all these visually images I can remember. But the episode, if you ask 3 years before what happened on this day, on your birthday, what happened now, that episode is a little difficult for me to remember. That's why history and law, this particular years, learning all these years is very difficult for me. I can remember the content, but the year, specific year, will be a very difficult task for me to remember. In my extracurricular activities, you can see my music, my performing arts, visual arts on the higher end. Yes, I am, as I said, I'm a portrait artist. I have also attested some of my drawings over here. My visual arts are on higher hand, and it is very much evident. And performing arts, in the sense, I really love classical and Western dances. I'm not a professionally trained classical dancer, but I do dance. I do have danced a lot of events during my college and also during my school days. When it comes to music, for me, music is like a therapy. When I have unstable mood, or there's some kind of instability, I feel this music tries to bring some stableness in my mind, stability in my mind, and I really love to sing as well as hear the music. And the oration, I really love to talk when it's a very relevant topic or it has some kind of deep connection. I'll be talking for hours. But if something is irrelevant, I won't be able to talk. But I'll try to somehow connect some random events and talk because I really love. And I wanted to do. In my university period in this in this before year and all, I have done a lot of events hosting, and even my school days have hosted few events. And once upon a time, during my primary or secondary level, I also had a thought of being a radio jockey and all. So in my subject preference, you can see it's very much evident that my biology is on higher hand. But you can see the potential is lower, right? There is a reason for it. For me, I do love these colorful images. The concept and all very much interesting for me. But what to say? Though my potential is low, being my sensory is all affective that help me to gain interest in the specific area. I could connect this particular concept with my the older concepts, and you can see my science. For me, biology I have a lot of interest, but physics is not my cup of tea because there's a lot of calculation parts comes there. But chemistry, I really love chemistry, and also attached a picture over here. Then maths, not at all. I should put n number of efforts to do a sum. That really tires me a lot. But somehow I got good percentage in my 10th and 12th grade. But maths is not the cup of tea at all. And commerce and humanities and all, I fairly do good. In my thinking orientation, you can see my abstract random is high, around 30.53. Being an abstract random person, I'm very much, imaginative and also very flexible, and I always see a bigger image and works towards it. Being this abstract random person, I really love to associate things and learn. So I can explain this with an example. For example, if you give a topic about Navratri and ask me to speak now, I just connect all the random dots about this Navratri incident have in my mind, like whatever the incidents I have seen, what are the incidents I've heard about it, all these random information will be there in my mind, right? So all that random dots I'll connect and I'll move into a piece of cloth, structured piece of cloth, and I can deliver a speech. So this kind of connecting the dots and speaking, it comes naturally for me and it's very much evident here. And in my speed, you can see my sequential thinking is normal and my random thinking is fast. In my college majors, you can see, sorry, in my college majors, you can see my biological sciences, business management, media journalism on the higher end. But I chose psychology. Here, the bar is little low. But there's a reason why I chose psychology because being a very social, diplomatic person who can understand, both the person's point of view and make a very rational decisions and all, and having the ability to connect with people, the D2X pattern, that really helps me a lot and also triggers me or motivates me to get into the psychology field. That's why I took BSc psychology as my undergraduate degree, and I'm gonna do my MSc counseling psychology with the specialization of CBT. Then in my smartness profile, you can see my top are my music and picture. Yes, I really love to listen to music as well as sing. In fact, I've mentioned here music acts as my healing power. In the pictures and all, I'm a portrait artist, as I've said earlier, and I especially excel charcoal art. Maybe in my parietal lobe, you could have seen my left side parietal. The fine motor energy is little low, but I'm good at drawing, right? It's because my what is it? Being an effective person, my sensory are very much effective, and all this affective personality helped me to gain a lot of interest, and I've also have appreciated and validated for my actions. That also motivated me to take up this, and I'm able to do well. The second is people you can see. So body energy and people are on the next higher end, and in that you can see as I'm a D2 pattern person, I can easily connect with people and create a bond with them, and I can understand with them. But self is little low because I used to think a lot. I'm a little bit of an overthinker. So I used to think a lot, but while executing, it won't happen the way I thought. That will really bring down myself, and that's one of the reasons myself is little low here. And my word is it's a 10.7 only. I'm not that materialistic possessed person. I also wanted, you know, to have some savings, but not that financially, I don't have that kind of financial thought process and all. When it comes to MI based adult learning, you can see my creative quotient is on very high, it's on a higher end because I'm a person, I really love to do things in every kind of artwork or any kind of pieces I've attested here. You can see it won't be a very simple image. It conveys some kind of meaning related to what I'm trying to discuss. And this creative quotient helps me a lot. And even when people discuss the problems with me, I can give very creative solutions to them, and I am able to feel that why all this happens all because of creative quotient. And the second comes my adversity. So the second comes my spiritual quotient. I'm a very spiritual person. I always believe in this divine energy and positive vibes. So if any kind of backdrops I experience, this spiritual quotient helps me to bounce back. And also the adversity quotient here plays a major role in this bouncing back capacity. uh, I have experienced a lot of traumatic incidents during my childhood, but if this adversity quotient is on the lower end and all, I wouldn't be able to be this stable. Like I won't be able to be in this kind of position where I'm sitting right now. I'm so emotional. Yeah, I'm very sensitive. But I have this thought that whatever happens, let it. Life goes on, and we need to, come against the hurdles and fight. So this adversity quotient helps me a lot, and this emotional quotient you can see is a little low because I'm little sensitive. Sometimes I suddenly become very unstable in my emotions and very difficult for me to handle. But yeah, this adversity quotient helps me to balance it. Next is my genetic behavior styles. You can see my influence is on a higher end. I am a person who really likes the center of attention. My potential adaptiveness is low here, but the strength is higher, right? So due to this, I'm not very time conscious. So I wanted to, grab the attention. Like for that, I'm not time conscious at all. I'll be trying n number of ways to, get that, grab that attention. And all these things, come effortlessly for me, and I can feel that. I'm not very adaptive in this area, as you can see the bar itself, but I'm very cheerful person. I can easily, convince people by speaking certain topics. They even also express this. That Kamli, if I speak to you, you easily convince me. And many people used to ask me if my friends are not coming to a trip, they used to call me and say, Kamli, நீங்க வரல நீ தயவு செஞ்சு பேசு நீ பேசினா வந்துருவா. So everyone has this thought process in their mind, and I'm able to relate it by seeing this graph. Then comes my steadiness. I'm not to say a person who's very stable and all. This following the step-by-step procedures and all is not. I won't work that much. For this, I can give an example. If I'm doing a mathematical sum, for example, it's trigonometry and all, I really don't, follow the small steps. I try to avoid it and go to this LS is equal to RHS or proving some kind of, problems. I want the final step to come soon. The small steps and all I try to avoid and skip and go on. That can be easily related with the steadiness. And this compliance and dominance and all is fairly balanced, and I'm not that dominant. And you can see it's very much evident in the graph itself. In the career preference, you can see I am more of a goal-oriented person rather than the process. With this, you can connect with my maths example itself. For me, proving LHS is equal to RHS is the main goal. But the process and all doesn't matter a lot to me. I'll try to skip as much steps. If it's a small step now, I don't really like to do it. I'll skip and go on to further task. And the same thing comes to the work also. If there's any small task is given, I try to, one ways I try to chunk it down or accumulate it and combine it as a whole task. Or else I try to skip it and go to the bigger task. And when it comes to work, I concentrate more on people rather than tasks. So I could relate this with one example. In a group activity, many of my friends wouldn't be able to do certain tasks. For example, asking us to do one presentation. There will be few people who don't know how to present, who don't know how to do PPT. I can explain them and make them understand. But for me, if they don't want to learn, if they are, showing that kind of an attitude, I won't compel them. I'll understand them. Okay, if they're not interested, we should not compel them. Being this D2 pattern, sorry, integrative pattern, having this integrative pattern, what I will do is I'll take up their work and say, okay, you can relax. I'll do the work. I'll be more concentrated on people rather than tasks. Let me do it. Let me somehow manage it. You don't need to worry. This kind of execution pattern is coming for me. And when it comes to environment, yeah, I'm an outdoor person. Again, my mood plays a major role. Sometimes I can be indoor too. Here it is written as outdoor is higher. But sometimes I myself can say that I really love to sit indoor, not outdoor. It because of this X factor. Next, my genetic behavior profile, you can see my self-confidence on a higher end, my self-confidence, friendliness, and enthusiasm on the higher, like on a little higher when compared to other graphs. Yeah, I have a lot of self-confidence, but what to say? This thoughtfulness, sometimes I overly confident. I won't think much and get into action, and that really brings down my what to say myself. Then this friendliness, yes, I'm overly friendly. So even some people, are not in the, I said the group activity example, right? So if people don't want to do the work, they'll easily dump the work on me, and I won't scold them or no try to get into fighting. I'm very much understanding. So sometimes people make use of my behavior as an advantage for them. And enthusiasm, I'm highly enthusiastic. Like if I'm doing a work now, I'll be jumping. Okay, this is my work. I want to do this, that. I want to prove myself, and I'll be highly enthusiastic. In that journey of being highly enthusiastic, I this accuracy, sometimes drops down because the steadiness or doing the step-by-step procedures and all. No, I don't. I'm not that good. I'm not that interested. So these things will definitely affect my accuracy level. The next is my career domain. You can see my enterprising, social, conventional, or on higher, and it's evident. Actually during my school days, I really wanted to get into human resource or as a project leader or wanted to be entrepreneur. But after that, I changed my path and came to psychology. And artistic also, you can see I'm currently doing a side by side, job like doing paid artworks and all, and like you can connect with this craft too. And social, right now I'm psychology field, and also wanted to connect with people, do a lot of social work, and these factors, you can easily connect with this craft. In the specialization, you can see the RISAC model. It's very evident that project leader, human resource, mentor training, creative media are on higher. And yeah, I still have the interest in being a project leader, and that can be very evident in my leadership skills itself. Then mentor and training, I do have an idea of getting into doing being a psychology teacher, professor in my upcoming years. So I really love to teach because for me, While teaching a concept really enhances my knowledge, and it really feeds my ears because my auditory is higher, right? Listening things and all is on very higher end. So when I teach, my auditory is also engaged in it, and it really helps me to increase my knowledge as well as empower people with my knowledge. Now this MGBI, you can see I'm more of a doer personality. You can see my ESTP personality is a doer personality. I'm more often an extroverted person. But sometimes, for me, creating initial conversation can be sometimes a little difficult. That's normal. And I'm more of a sensing person. And when it comes to process and all, it's converging for me. When taking decisions, it seems that thinking and feeling are quite less balanced, but thinking is a little on the higher end. Lifestyle and all, I am a perceptive person. And personality, yeah, you can say I'm very adaptive. I can easily adapt to any situation, provided I need some kind of proper logic, or some proper evidence to prove I need, so that I can easily adapt. But even there is no proper logic, also I can adapt. But this will add on to being more adaptive for me. I'm not that aggressive. So this dual personality person is very much being a dual personality person. I'm very outgoing, enthusiastic, and I really like to have hands-on experience to life. And I'm very good at analyzing others. So I prefer career that involve a lot of interaction with people. And for me, process matters than the goal. Now, let me move on to my my parents' report. In these two reports, I can relate that my father and mother are like a fire and ice combination. Only. My father is like a cracker, also we can say. My mother is like a balloon. The father will be without understanding the situation, easily judge, and will be chatpata, will be blasting without analyzing the certain things. My mother will be like, she'll take all the inputs. She'll be slowly reacting. How we blow a balloon, will be take all the inputs, and suddenly at a point of time will burst. So she is such kind of an attitude, and I've observed it. In this UID, my father's UID, you can see, okay, in my father's UID, you can see we have this D3X pattern in this right prefrontal. Having this D3 pattern, portrays him as a very informative and diplomatic person. It also makes him a very social person. He can easily handle people and can easily influence people. And but in this decision making pattern, in decision like executing patterns and all, there is a little confusion, as you can see the D3 pattern in the left prefrontal. So this creates dilemma, because while taking any kind of decision, he needs proper proof and evidences. Based on the proper information only, he'll take decision. So to analyze all these stuff, no, it sometimes delay the process. That's why there's a little confusion over there. And you can see the D3XX plays a role, right? This X, the secondary processor, take up the characteristics of the left prefrontal, and that is evidently applied over here. I can explain this with an example. He's a very good leader, but this he's very analytical when handling with people sometimes. For example, if he's giving a work to a person, he can easily handle them. He can easily segregate the work, but while talking to them, no, there's a lot of logic and analysis will come. That sometimes portray him as a very harsh or rude person, but in general, he's a very very sensitive person. He just showcases him as a very bold character, but within in inner self, is a very sensitive person, because this dilemma, this left prefrontal, no, sometimes low his self confidence, and it gives a lot of self doubt to him. And you can see the highest energy you can see here is in this temporal 83 and 80, left side and right side. while he talks, he beautifully talks to a person. He can easily, influence and can easily convince anyone. But his talks will be more of self-centered. A lot of self-boasting you can see, and he'll be very much judgmental while he talks. He'll be very straightforward also, and he can talk for hours. He'll be, repeating on that அரச்சமாவே அரைப்பேன்னு சொல்லுவோம் பாத்தியா, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரே point he'll be talking and talking. And he also loves to listen a lot. But that listening, you can see the C3 pattern is there. No, he'll be so self-centered, listening will be there. If you are saying any good thing about him, he will lend all his ears and listen. But you criticize him and says any, that kind of point, immediately will come into fight. How can you say that? I'm not that kind of a person and all. So you can see, you can relate this example with the energy and the pattern over there. When it comes to that then frontal area, you can see we have this again B3. In thinking also, this right frontal area, you can see B3 and the energy is 59. Yeah, this B3 makes him a very diplomatic person. In the thought process also, it gives such kind of characteristics. But there is sometime you won't think in a very diplomatic manner. This X pattern and all no comes into play. And again, in parietal, you can see there is in the D3 pattern, you can see in the right parietal, and the energy is around 69. He really loves to travel a lot. He can't sit, and even Sundays leave also, he don't like to sit. He somehow take up any activity, go to the garden, clean the garden, or he'll go somewhere, go to some temple or do something. He don't like to travel short distance. He like to travel for days or even for months also. He love to travel. He don't want to come home at all. It's all because of this D3 weekend. He has a lot of energy. He really loves to travel a lot. When it comes to occipital, it's A1. A1 is effective pattern we can see. And then in dominance, we can see more of a right brainer, but it's fairly balanced here. And the processing speed and all, left side brain processing is moderate, and right brain processing is also moderate. When it comes to my mother's report, she is like a water personality. Water personality. She is very adaptive, according to me, and also due to the report, you can see she is very adaptive. The highest energy you can see in her occipital and C3 pattern you can see there, right? This what to say? She in her visuals, she has a very good visuals. She's very imaginative. I can explain this with an example itself. She is a person who she's a person who really loves to keep a kitchen or any area she's handling. She wants to keep that area to be little colorful and creative. So if she's purchasing any kitchen gadgets or products, you don't want that to be very simple. So you want some kind of artistic touch to it, anything little colorful or in different shapes and designs, or it should be arranged in different orders. All these things, she'll put a lot of attention and work on to that. And she really loves colorful images. She really loves to watch TV because occipital energy, you can see in the C3. She really wants to, observe a lot of visuals, and she keeps on watching mobile and TV. Rather than me, she is a little more of an TV addict person. I won't use mobile that much, but my mother is overpowers me, and she uses a lot of mobile phone and TV because she wants that kind of, that attraction and visual images, like what say, visual connections you need. Then we can see in the what is it? The next is the temporal. You can see A1 and A3 pattern, and the right side of the temporal you can see the A3 pattern. The A3 is a very divine energy, we can say. So this also will tell you that she has a very fixed mindset about herself. She has a very fixed mindset about it. If you try to say that you are not this kind of a person, mainly I can connect here. My father and mother get into fight mainly because of this topic. Because when he try to say his opinion, first he'll pinpoint the error, then only say about the good things. But my mother, she doesn't like first pinpointing the errors and telling that you are this kind of person, making pinpointing her she don't like. If you say in a very polite manner now, she can accept. But if you're very rude or you're very dominating and you're not very, what to say, very harsh with the point, she wouldn't accept it. She just hear and leave it. This is the area where these two people, where my father and mother get into fight. Friction happens here, and she doesn't talk that much. She'll listen a lot, but she won't talk much because you can see the energy is quite low and it's effective only. While also listening, if you say anything good about her, if you validate her and all, she'll listen. She'll easily accept and reciprocate it. But anything that is, if you criticize her in a very, or not in a, you criticize her and doesn't make her understand the point what you're trying to convey, she'll ignore you and she will doesn't care about whatever you say. It's up to you. I know who am I. This is the thought process she have in her mind. Then in her frontal, you can see the right frontal. We have this R2 pattern, but the energy is low. The pattern is strong here. The being auto pattern, she imitates certain behaviors that she learned from her parents and or any person she considers to be an inspiration role model. And I can evidently see in her while she's thinking. She used to think like my grandmother only. My grandmother is like, வாரி கொடுக்கும் வள்ளல் சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல அந்த மாதிரி அவங்கள்ட்ட எதுவுமே இல்லைன்னா கூட she used to give to a lot of people and the mother has the same thought process. She has suffered a lot because of that kind of thinking. I wouldn't say that's wrong, but we should know to draw a line. But my mother doesn't know where to draw the line, and because of that, she has experienced a lot of dark classes. And that thing I can really relate with this R2 pattern here. And we can come to the parietal energy where you can see it's A1 and A1. Actually, she's a little bit of a lazy person right now, but in the before days, in her early, young, adulthood time and all, young adulthood, that period and all, she was very energetic only. Right now, only she's getting little lazy. And while talking about occipital, I forgot to say one thing is that she really loves to carry herself, and this right occipital plays a major role here. Whenever she, picks some dress for me, she'll be so specific. She follows the trends a lot. She'll be so specific. Like, choose this color, choose this pattern. It should be visually appealing. All these things should be more, trendsetter. She'll be more connected to trend rather than me. So whenever I choose my dress, my mom is my personal stylist for me. And when it comes to dominance, you can see she is more of a left brainer, and there's a quite balanced left and right brain itself. And the speed, you can see the left brain processing is fast and the right brain processing is fast. Then moving on. One second. Sorry for the inconvenience. My screen is logged here, I guess.
You don't go to the full screen. You keep those images below and click on the images one after the
Sorry,
other.
sir.
Instead of going for the full screen, you display the other slides at the bottom and you click on them.
One second.
Now you are in the full screen.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah.
Sorry. So this MGBI indicators of my father is of the ESFJ type, and I've attested an image like when having this judge having what is it, this hammer kind of thing. So he's very judgmental. He acts like a judge in my home. He used to make decisions, and he's very judgmental by the things I've observed. I'm just referencing here. And my mom is like a very understanding person who understands other person's point of view. But for my father, it's not that case. So he's very judgmental. There's a high self-boasting you can see. He's very dominant in nature, and he really loves to travel a lot. And in this MGBI, you can see is more often an extroverted person. And in the input, you can see the sensing is around 52%. And the process, you can see it's converging. And the decision making, you can see is a little feeling oriented. And lifestyle, you can see judgment is on higher end, 54 from 1 5. That's why this image, easily, depicts his character. And the aggressiveness is on higher end. Yes, he easily get, like just like a tadka. When you put mustard in the oil, it just, uh, like tap tap sounds will come, no, just like a tatka only, easily without understanding the situation, will burst out. But for my mother, it's just the opposite. She's very, very understanding. She's more of an introverted person, but quite balanced. And in input, she is sensing 55% we can see. And in the process, you can see it's converging. The decision making, you can see it's thinking oriented decision only comes. The lifestyle, you can see it's perceptive, not judgmental. And in personality, as I said, she's more adaptive rather than aggressive. Only this aggression comes when all our emotions are dumped together and one point of time will blast. That's the thing that you can see the aggression. Other than that, you can't feel the aggression in your behavior. Next is my client's report called Ms. Nera Parani. So before getting the report, let me give a small intro about her. She is a housewife right now. She has done her she has qualified as a she has qualified in sorry she has completed a degree in BA Economics and also certified in cosmetology. So in this UID, you can see she's all effective pattern, and she is a very, very, what to say, very flexible in nature. She's more of a right brainer, as you see. She can easily connect with people. She is very much of a people pleasing person in general. You can see from UID itself, you can understand that. And it's very difficult for her to say no because this people pleasing behavior is very difficult for her to say no. Somehow she'll adjust and do the work. And she'll get being this all affective, no, they'll get easily affected by any kind of changes in the environment. For example, let me say, for example, I've heard she shared me this incident that her her child's van driver was facing some kind of family issues and he was discussing that problem to her. She, being all effective, got very closely, connect with the problem and was empathizing with him. She was the one more worried than him actually. So she used to put all those thoughts in her mind, and she was thinking for us what we can do for him. He's suffering a lot. From my side, what I can help. So being an affected person, they'll dump a lot of things and they'll get easily affected by any kind of changes in the surrounding, and they're very sensitive also. And also, she acts like what to say, like an anchor. How an anchor will, that hold a big ship. She just had act like a interconnecting block or an anchor for her family. And this is the first thing I'm able to relate because from her from having discussion with her, I'm able to relate this because her family is not that adaptive. They are very, what to say, her husband is a little bit of having the dominant characters there, but she's the one who adjusts to a lot of different scenarios and try to hold their family together. And from this low base energy, you can see that her adaptiveness in all the energies are high. So you can also see The dominance area that she is more of a right brainer, which I already said earlier, and the speed is also she more of a left brain processing moderate and right brain processing is normal. She always try to keep others in before her. She won't think about herself at all. First she'll consider others and their problems and try to get solution for them, and then only she comes to think about herself. And that is very much evident in this UID and this Robert energy, so we can see that. Then in this genetic behavior styles, you can see that our influence is on the higher end, right? So she is a person who really loves to get the center of attention. If she can talk now, she can easily grab other person's attention. She can easily influence people. If she is discussing, for example, if she is, communicating or influencing some kind of brand now, if she is doing a business and she is promoting her brand, she can easily make the customer, bring in the thought process. Aha, she's so good in explaining these kind of stuff. I really want to buy her product. That kind of grab or that kind of influence she can make by speaking itself. And in steadiness, you can see she is very a steady person. She try to be little very conscious and safe by taking any kind of decisions she do. And compliance, yeah, she always follow a lot of procedures and goes step by step. Sorry, she follows a lot of procedures and follows a lot of rules. She don't like to dominate others. As it in the graph you can see, she don't like to dominate others. She's very much understanding in nature and can easily influence people. And she don't like shortcuts at all. Even if the process takes for a longer period of time, she will do it. She don't want to go in any kind of shortcuts, and we can see that from the compliance graph itself. In the genetic behavior profile, you can see um, the genetic behavior profile. You can see that a friendliness is on the little higher end when compared to other graphs. Yeah, she's very friendly. You can easily, if you ask anything, she'll do. She wouldn't say no. As I said in the before slide itself, she would do anything for a close circle, and it can be anything. It can be to any extent also. And this friendliness also affects her efficiency, because when it comes to business or any kind of work, being so friendly and connecting with people, she forgot to be, she, neglected the part of being efficient while doing any kind of work. So that's the area this friendliness, drops on the efficiency level. And other than that, every other aspects you've seen are at normal level, currently very well balanced level. Her self motivation is a little low because she has a lot of self doubt on herself, because she's not able to do what she thinks. She has a lot of what to say interest, or she has a lot of likings, but keeping others in the front, she's not able to think about herself. That's the thing that block her, and sometimes that brings on a self confidence. And she really loves to get validation from others. If she's not properly validated, then that's the area where the self confidence, plays a role, and that's where it comes down also. And accuracy is also not that bad, but it's little low because the enthusiasm is higher due to over energy spent. Like not higher, it's 1.06, but when compared to the accuracy, it's higher, right? So, so we can conclude that she's highly friendly in nature, very emotional person, and can easily adjust and be cooperative with others. And this, at last, we can see that our MBTI profile is of ENFP person. And this you can see she is an extroverted person. Yeah, she's very straightforward while she speaks to others. And even the straightforwardness also, she'll speak in such a way that she wouldn't hurt others. But keeping a point of view, it will be in such a convincing manner that people will understand it and it won't look so rude. And the inputs are more of intuitive. It's sensing and intuitive are fairly less balanced here. And the process, you can see it's diverging. The decision making all are feeling oriented. She just takes from what she feels. She takes decision from what she feels. And the lifestyle is like perceptive, and the personality, as I said, being all effective, she's a more of an adaptive person. So this so somehow sorry, I'm coming to the end of my presentation. So I want to end this presentation with one quote. I strongly believe this quote and I follow it also. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Why I'm so insisting or have this a big craze on this or big belief on this quote is that till my primary or secondary level, I'm very cupboard person. I wouldn't come out and talk at all. Because of that, I had lost a lot of opportunities in my life. But after understanding the concept of this quote, I started to come like whatever happens, fine. Let me give it a shot. Even if I'm not, not able to communicate in the right manner, if I'm stammering, it's fine. I'm putting my 100% effort, and it's conveying. From my mistakes, let me learn. This fear just stopping my, it's just blocking my opportunities. It's just closing my doors for opportunity. I don't want any such obstacle in my life. So I started to overcome my fear, and this code, it's very much relatable to my life. So at last, I sincerely thank everyone who attended my session and patiently listened to my, this presentation. And I wanted to thank Dr. Ravi sir who showed me this pathway, and that's why I'm sitting here and doing a self discovery. And my sincere and special thanks to Sindhu ma'am, and I really don't know how to thank her because she's so patient and very much kind to me. I used to ask the same doubts a number of times, but she'll be very patient and explain all the doubts to me. And she gave me not only insights about this GDP report, she also gave me a lot of new knowledge other than from this genetic behavior profile. And last but not the least, Ratnaswamy sir and Suresh sir, I thank you a lot for giving me this opportunity to present my self-discovery session today. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Yeah, I would like to hear from audience. Anyone would like to give a audio feedback? Please raise your hand and just to speak your comments on the session. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
let me share a few words, sir.
Yeah.
So, Kamali, just I want to take the moment because my throat is very bad, but still say how you just impressed me with your presentation. You did just an outstanding job, Kamali, and your hard work is truly shown in every part of the reports. Keep up the fantastic work. I'm very excited to see where you go from here. All the very best, Kamali.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Means a lot to me.
Yeah. Thank you. Suresh?
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Actually, the presentation was very good, and you understood your self-report and family report very well. Very excellent presentation. Good work, and all the best. And thanks for the mentor, Sindhu, ma'am. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Good evening, Ji.
Anjali.
Good evening, all. Kamli, I think wonderful presentation. Sindhu, I think she's done a real, outstanding mentoring, I would say. This is yet another feather on her cap. You are actually adding pride to MiDNA as well, with all your understanding and everything. I just noticed one small thing when you were mentioning about the genetic career profile. You were mentioning about your first time, it was like the process isn't that important to you. And later on, during the concluding part, you mentioned process is important to you. So when you're, communicating, I would request you to, just go through it and see if you have made that contradiction. And if there is anything to be reflected, you can always reflect. Otherwise, it was a fantastic presentation and a beautiful journey ahead for you. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I'll correct it now.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabha ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Anyone else? Right. I think, thank you everyone for your feedback. And as the name suggests, Kamali, your presentation is Kamal. Kamal means outstanding. Okay. So for a undergraduate psychologist, this presentation is really awesome. And you should thank to your right prefrontal that has given you the confidence to show it up. You did say earlier you were very skeptical and fear was there so much, and now you have broken that jinx and probably able to do and ready to face the challenge. That is also because of your A1 uh, tented arch on the right side, which was little more skeptical. Compliance is little more skeptical, and now that you are becoming an adult, your prefrontal is coming into play, and that's giving you the other side of the life, which is confidence and courage. Actually, prefrontal is supposed to be the indication of courage, and with the cognitive, courage increases. However, you have a small x, so all your statements validating, and even I would say the point raised by Prabha also is coming from that statement that in some aspect you are quite quite good with your statements, but because there is a small x, which we say condition supply, it's not really that contradiction is coming because of a continuous crossover happening in the prefrontal, right to left is happening. Whenever there is a trigger happening, it is affecting the frontal as well. Because converging in the right prefrontal is actually judgment about people. When the same thing happens in the left frontal, the converging is about judgment of the work. So whether you are doing the judgment of the work, which is good, but judgment of people is not being liked, because when we are in the left side, judgment is a strength. When we are on the right side, the judgment is not right. So little bit of transient phase, I would say, you are going through. When you become 24, 25, you will settle down with little more stability on the prefrontal than the frontal. Otherwise, I would say your prefrontal to frontal journey or frontal to prefrontal journey, there is little bit of changing from left side of the road to the right side of the road. There is an oscillation that is happening. That's because of the small x in the right prefrontal. Otherwise, I did notice that when it came to the subject choices, your psychology wasn't really good, because you had to understand psychology is a very vast subject. There are various aspects of psychology, and that is why I say this psychology, the graph is very reliable and dependable only for 100% effective people or affective personalities. This graph that you see in the report is relatable. The minute you see a cognitive pattern or a small x, then the possibility of reading the subject choices from this report is not really going to work. That is why I have decided to remove subject choices based on RIASEC model. Will not be there in the future format of reporting, because it is better to go with individual RIASEC, what is in say, points or the strength, and then relate it there individually, because in this graph it is a combination of multiple lobes. And why psychology wasn't really strong there? Because you have an arch pattern in the right side of your frontal, which is not really a counseling psychologist. You did make a statement that you will go to do MSc counseling psychologist. My recommendation would be go with therapeutic psychology rather than diagnostic and counseling psychology. Because right prefrontal is about therapy, more abstract, mentoring, coaching, finding out new ways of healing people. So I would recommend that you should think of psychotherapy more for your post-graduation than the counseling psychology. Though you are a right sensory strong person, but in the frontal lobe you have an arch pattern which will not really go well with the counseling psychology, but it will go more with less of psychology and more of less of diagnostic and more of what you can say therapeutic. That would be my 2 cents recommendation here. Anyhow, you will have another some more time to figure it out. But my strong recommendation would be you should think of therapeutic psychology rather than diagnostic psychology. That would be my recommendation, Kamali. Otherwise, I think you did all that job well, and it was very nice to know that you did an RJ job also. Lot of creative skills are there, but the small x is going to really trouble you a lot. You need to be a little more mindful about what is there in your mind, and that will do a lot good. And I know you have parents very supportive. I was just wondering, no other consultant no other trainee who came to MiDNA was supported by the family members by giving such a very encouraging testimonials and all. I will tell you, anyone whose family is also supporting the genetic brain profiling journey, those associates will really do a lot better than others who are fighting the battle alone. So I am seeing very happy to both your parents who are really supportive of you are doing this training as well as your psychology career. Yes, Dinesh, Sindhu said you will definitely do a great psychology oriented, but I see you as more therapy oriented psychologist than the real counseling psychologist. Let us see how you turn to be, and I will be very happy to see it happening either way. I'll be very happy. So all the very best. Continue to travel. I know you are studying and so you have less time to do, but I think this training course, done it in 6 months. This is a great opportunity. I wish you encourage more of your friends and colleagues to do this course because it is equivalent to studying 2 years of psychology, 6 months of genetic brain profiling, and an internship of 6 months practicals. I think this makes you a really very confident and competitive professional in psychology. All the very best. See you soon with your next level of presentation. Thank you very much. Stay blessed. And once again, thank all those who took time to come. Around 45 people said they are coming. 24 came. Nevertheless, it's still a good audience for Self-Discovery 1.0. All the very best. Take care of
Thank
you.
you so much, sir. That means a lot. Thank you so much.